heard?
I think the governor is working to set a new direction in how we manage our budgets in the state. You know, I've called the budgets that have been forward during my time as controller as budgets that present us with spending that's not sustainable. The governor echoed that sentiment. So there's obviously a lot of detail that we still have to look at, beyond the preliminaries. But I think he's put forward a plan with some new approaches that meet the challenges of the times that we're in. And we need to look at the details, and I'm sure there'll be a third discussion between now and April 1st. I certainly echo his sentiment that the legislature needs to work together, get this done, get it done on time. We can't have the kind of failed budget process that we've had in the past.
Comptroller, was there anything in the budget that the governor presented today that you thought was missing or lacking from the presentation?
I thought the presentation was very effective, but obviously there's a tremendous amount of detail in the budget that I haven't seen yet, so it would be too soon for me to comment beyond what we heard in the presentation.
What do you thoughts on the sham formula that you talked about?
Well, no, I didn't hear Ms. Sham in the presentation today. I saw some of the press articles this morning. The deficits, as we pointed out, the structural deficits are based on what current law is. Typically what happens is, depending on the amount of money that we have, the current law is put aside. I think what the governor is saying is, if there are parts of the law that you know are not going to be implemented, let's just clean up that part of the budget process so we're dealing with a more simplified process. It's more transparent for people.
So you agree with him on this?
Well, I don't know if it's a question of agreeing or disagreeing. You know, the point is, if you've got permanent law that in many cases, take for instance the revenue sharing formula that's on the books, that hasn't been fully implemented for a number of years. Why? Because we haven't had the money to implement it. So I think, you know, what the governor is saying is those kinds of formulas, rather than keep them on the books, it's time to say that, you know, we're going to have a new approach, a new formula, and this is what it is.
Do you think it would be more financially responsible, Mr. Controller, to do it that way, to eliminate all the permanent law on the book that assumes more than a federal increase, a federal?
No, I think what's financially responsible is not to spend more money than we take in. I think that's the challenge has always been for New York to not just get through a budget year, which has always been very difficult in the face of this economy, but on a long-term basis, align your recurring revenue with your recurring spending. And to do that in a transparent way is what the challenge is.
You've always been a critic of the state's unsustainable spending. Has the governor's presentation go far enough in your?
I haven't seen the details, but certainly he's certainly moving it in the right direction.